Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, 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 Dandavat Pranam.
Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakammalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sakagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sakagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Scha Ye Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyev Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktyakam Namame Bhakti Shaktikam. Just a second. Hare Krishna? Hare Krishna? Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. ಪ್ರಭು ಇವತ್ತು ರಥಯಾತ್ರೆಗೆ ಗಾರ್ಲೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು ಪ್ರಭು, ಒಂದು 25 ಗಾರ್ಲೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು. 25. ಹಾಂ, ಓಕೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳೋಣ ಅಂತ ಮರ್ತೋದೆ ನಾನು. ಹಾಂ, ಸಾಕು 25 ಸಾಕು. ಹಾಂ, ಹರಿಬೋಲ್. Hare Krishna. Okay, so let's begin. One service I had missed, so I was just calling. Okay, so somehow I got time to make a PowerPoint. I hope I was able to cover everything. Okay. So let's see if I can. Okay, this is chapter 4. Yeah. Let's see. Is the screen visible?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
So, so Bruhad Bhagavatam consists of two parts, as we discussed in last class. So we did in part one, we discussed section 1, and now we're going to discuss section 2. Part 2 is bigger than part 1. So we'll try to concise in 2 sections and try to complete it. Let us see how it goes. The part 2 is the life of Gopakumara. What does he do? So that's the real practical aspect of a devotee. Hmm. So now we will continue to discuss about the essence of mercy, which is called who gets the most mercy. Right. So that's what we discussed. So we came up to Lord Shiva. Right. Lord Shiva and Kailasha we discussed in the last class. Now we will continue from there. So I'll just do a quick recap before we move forward. So essence of the mercy means who gets the most mercy. So we always think, oh, some great Prabhu in our temple, he gets more mercy than me. You always see some great Vaishnavas and then say, hey, they get more mercy than me. So is it true or not? If it is true, what degree it is true? So we will see both those angles. Then we will see in the entire hierarchy of creation, that is starting from the spiritual world all the way till the ant in the material world, what sort of mercy they get. Right? So that's an important aspect to understand. Because when we understand this clearly, then we know what is our position as a devotee. Just a second. Yeah, so that's where the understanding begins, right? We can see in the conclusion also that each of us think that someone else is more greater, someone else has got mercy, but that's the quality of the consciousness of a devotee. The difference between Duryodhana and Yudhishthira was Yudhishthira thought everyone was greater than him, but Duryodhana thought that he is greater than everyone else. See, that's the difference between a devotee and a non-devotee. So here in the devotional aspect, you see no devotee claims that he is the best, he is the owner, he is the controller. No one claims like that. They give credit to others. That's the first stepping stones in our devotional service. If one does not develop such a consciousness, then what happens? He remains a Kanishta Adhikari. So what Prabhupada said, there are 3 types of Adhikaris, Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttam Adhikari. The power of an Uttam Adhikari is not only he liberates himself, but he liberates many other people just by his presence. He liberates them. Just by his presence, he makes others to chant. A Madhyama is a realized soul where he can, preach to others, bring them to Krishna consciousness. He doesn't see differences among people. But he is able to deliver himself very nicely. Okay? At least he helps others to come to a platform of Krishna consciousness and puts them to path of bhakti. A Kanishta can neither deliver others, can neither deliver himself. That is the biggest issue of Kanishta. Though Shastra says 3 generations get delivered, but Prabhupada in his lectures he talks about one should not remain in a Kanishta mentality. Because the fall down is very dangerous and becomes imminent. So that's why the devotee's mood is to call others as the greatest. Okay, so we'll continue from last class. So Narada praises the Brahmana. Okay, he praises the Brahmana for his devotion, and then he says that you are the best. But the Brahmana declines. No, I'm not the best. The king who is in this area, he's the best. So please go to that king. Right? So when Naradaji went to the king said, no, I'm not the best. The Devatas are the best. And among the Devatas, Indra is the best. So Narada goes to Svargaloka and talks to Indra, and Indra says, yes, Indraloka is great. Everything looks very beautiful, but please understand we are temporary. How we are temporary? In a day of Brahma, Brahma lives for 100 years. 1 year consists of 365 days. And in a day of that one Brahma, 14 Indras are taking positions. And I am one of that. See, my position is very, very delicate and very temporary. So he says, I'm not the favorite. And moreover, I have a lot of other issues. I keep fighting with Krishna for everything, whatever he does. Right? So the Indra says, he is not a good devotee. Then Indra points that Brahmaji is a better devotee or a greatest devotee because he is the recipient of Vishnu. He is also son of Vishnu because he was born from the navel of Vishnu. He says he is the creator, and he also creates Lord Shiva through him. Through him, he destroys the whole universe. Okay? And importantly, he talks about the Mahapurusha avatar. Mahapurusha avatar is the avatar which spans across the entire material stack of creation of 14 planets. And the upper, the abdomen, and the lower of the Mahapurusha is the manifestation of the 3 stacks of material universe. The Satyaloka, the Swargalokas, the Bhulokas, and the Patalokas. Right? And he says Brahma lives for a very, very long period of time. Right? So he says Brahmaji is a greater devotee. So now what does he do? He goes to Brahmaloka and he praises Brahmaji. So there, what does he see? He saw 1,000 hoods of Ananta Shesh offering. Okay? And he's glorifying Brahmaji about his position. That he constantly is residing with the Lord because he's referring to the Mahapurusha now. Right? But Brahmaji says, no, I am always in Maya. Right? I think I'm the controller, but I'm not the controller. I think I'm the creator, but I'm not the creator. He says, I always worry about one thing. What is it? I've created with great effort all these planetary systems, so many activities, the material nature, and all these things. But I'm always fearing destruction. Because at the end of my life, the whole thing will get destroyed. Now, this is my biggest problem. Krishna's empowered me with so much, but I misuse them. I misuse in testing the Lord. I misuse in giving wrong benedictions to the demons. Right? Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, and all these people, and they come back and disturb the Lord. Right? And you look at my creation. Creation also has a lot of flaws in it. See, I created many of these devatas, and they keep fighting with the Lord, not knowing the supremacy and the position of the Lord. He talks about example of Indra, who fights with the Lord. He talks about Yamaraja, who fights with the Lord. He talks about other Varuna, they fight with the Lord. Like that, he goes on, gives a list. Just, I'm not the greatest recipient of the mercy. So then, the conversation goes on. Where you look at this slide, you can see the Shankachoda, the pastime. Then the Varuna pastime, stealing Nanda Maharaj. Then he says, there are flaws everywhere around me. I'm not the greatest devotee. Shiva is a better devotee. Okay? And Shiva's planet is much higher than mine. And it's called Kailash. And Shiva can even award liberation. How Shiva can award liberation? When anyone dies who remembers Lord Shiva and tells the name of Lord Shiva, Shiva can come and chant the names of Lord in the ears of those people. And by hearing the names of Lord Vishnu, they get liberated. And now that's how Shiva awards liberation. Okay? So here we conclude that Shiva is the greatest.
என்ன கூப்பிடலாமா? மணி 6 தான் இது.
Please mute. You're disturbing others. Yeah. Okay, so Shiva became the greatest recipient of the mercy. Okay. So what does Narada Muni does? He goes to Shiva Loka and he straight away begins to praise Lord Shiva. What does Lord Shiva say? Lord Shiva say, I'm not the greatest devotee of all. Okay. And he says, I'm always, I desire the mercy of the Lord's servants. Who are Lord's servants? Here, Lord Krishna's servants is what Shiva was praying on all the time. Oh, please give me benediction. Okay. So the Lord takes benediction from me. That is a wrong proposition that people have understood, but that's a pastime, right? So, for example, Samba, who's son of Shiva, Lord took that benediction, but that's a pastime. Then Lord worship Lord Shiva, Lord Ram worship Shiva before crossing the great ocean to reach Lanka. That's a pastime. It's not the real fact. So Shiva tells, I'm in mode of tamoguna all the time. So I'm not the greatest of all. So in this way, Shiva rejects all the praising that Narada Muni gave him. One second. It's stuck up. Screen is getting stuck up here. Can we leave the screen like this? Is the screen still okay? Because if I go full screen, I'm not able to get control.
Yes, Prabhu.
It's visible, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay, so Shiva says, I am not the greatest recipient of the mercy. In fact, when the Lord came as Mohini, I demonstrated lust. And the pastime of Banasara, how I put the Lord into difficulty and then he had to come and kill. Right? He says all these things. So, lessons of mercy, Shiva commits offenses by giving benediction, which are harmful. So Shiva is so easily pleased, he just gives benediction. We talked about Banasara, that was a problem, but Krishna had to go kill him. Okay. So that was the past. Okay. Then let's go to the next one. So Shiva says that I am not the best of all the devotees. The people of Vaikuntha, the spiritual world, are the real devotees. So now you see, in the planetary systems, we are in Bhuloka. So Narada Muni started in Bhuloka. So then from Bhuloka, he went to Swargaloka. Then from Swargaloka, he went to Satyaloka again. From Satyaloka again, he went to Kailash, which is still above. Now he says the devotees in Vaikuntha are the real devotees. They get most of the mercy. Okay. So now Narada is thinking, who's that? And then he's going to talk about that now. They see the Lord all the time, so they have Satchidananda bodies. Who? The people in the Vaikuntha lokas. Although they can travel everywhere, they generally stay in the Vaikuntha loka forever. They don't want to leave the Lord because they don't want in separation with the Lord. So hence he says, the people of Vaikuntha, the greatest benedictions, or the greatest recipient of the mercy of the Lord. That's what Lord Shiva claims. Then he also says that better than me is Prahlad. Okay. So Shiva suggests that Prahlad is the devotee who is much better than me. He's a greater devotee. And why Prahlad is a greater devotee? Because Prahlad, when he was offered liberation by Lord Nrsimhadev, he said, I don't want liberation. What do I want? I want bhakti. All the time bhakti on your lotus feet. So that was the position of Prahlad. Now, because Bali and his son Banasara were related to Prahlad, they also got benediction. So that's the power of Prahlad. So he says, Prahlad is a better devotee, greater devotee. He gets all the recipient of the mercy. You better go to Sutala because that's where Prahlad resides. So he's asking Naradaji to go to Prahlad and glorifies Prahlad. Okay. Now look at this loka, which is 9.21. Right. So we talked about here. So from Goloka, he came Satyaloka, then Kailasha. Now he's telling Naradaji, don't go up above, go down to Sutala. See, Sutala is here. Atala, Vitala, Sutala. Sutala is here. So, the Bhuloka gets the sun rays, but all these people do not get sun rays. Why? Because they are part of the Bhumandala, within the Bhumandala. They're stacked inside. Now, what does 9.1 say? Sloka number 9.1 in Bhagavad Gita. I'll just read this for you. When they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly pleasure, living entities who moved from earth by doing punya karma, they went to Swargaloka here. Once all their punya karma is exhausted, because they enjoyed and they exhaust the punya karma. The result of their pious act are exhausted and they return to this mortal planet again. Which is a mortal planet? The Bhuloka, earth planet again. Thus, those who seek enjoyment by adhering to the principles of three Vedas achieve only repeated birth and death. That means people who do punya karma, but they want a lot of sense enjoyment. They will go to Swargaloka because they did punya karma. Once the punya karma is over, because they are more sense gratificatory in nature, they fall down back to the earth planet or to the lower planets according to the state of consciousness one possesses. That's what 9.1 says. So now, it is a little bit contradictory here. Now what does it say? Narada Muni was going to Brahmaloka, Shivaloka, and then he went down below to Sutala. The third one below. Atala, Vitala, Sutala. And these are called hellish planets. But Narada Muni is not falling down and going back. Narada Muni is going to glorify Prahlad because of a particular benediction that he received from the Lord. Okay. So let's see. Naradaji went to Sutaloka and he saw Prahlad and he started to praise them. And he says, Prahlad, you are the greatest devotee because when Narsingdev was very angry, no one could pacify him. No one could do anything about it. Even Lakshmiji could not do about it. Brahmaji could not do anything about it. But you were able to go and pacify the Lord. He must be really, really very great. And how the Lord demonstrated or reciprocated that prayers of Prahlad? By licking him. Okay. So, Lord offered all benedictions, including liberation. Then Prahlad refused everything. He said, only I want bhakti. That is the purity of Prahlad. Right? So, that's what is the truth. Now, let's see what Prahlad responds to now. Prahlad immediately says, no, Naradaji, I don't accept any of those things. I don't deserve. I am not the greatest recipient of the mercy. All these things are very symptomatic. So what is symptomatic? That means they look surface level. You can see a devotee, he will be chanting very seriously. You may think that, oh, this devotee is like Uttamadhikari man, he's chanting like that. But his intentions, his purity in the heart could be something else. So that is the problem. Right? So Prahlad is known. Of course, Prahlad is known for Smaranam. Why Smaranam? Because every time when Hiranyakashipu used someone or something to attack Prahlad, like for example, he called the elephants to trample on him. He used such poisonous snakes to bite him. Like that, many things he did. Every time he attacked Prahlad was doing Smaranam. Deep remembrance of the Lord. He did not care about the outcome of what's going to happen. And what happened? Prahlad was protected. So, but Prahlad says, though I am known for Smaranam, Bhagavatam has glorified me. Everywhere there are glorifications of Puranas. But remember, I am very self-centered. Whenever I am in trouble, I remember the Lord. See? just to take benediction and remove them. So I'm not the greatest devotee. It's a big problem, right? So Prahlad says, the real mercy of the Lord is when Lord gives service to a devotee. If a devotee is engaged in a service, whatever it may be, smaller or the biggest, he says that service which the Lord allocates to the devotee and makes him to perform for the pleasure of the Lord is considered the very greatest. I am not the greatest because I remember the Lord only when I need. So like that, Prahlad pushes himself down in his position, right? Okay, so now let's see what happens. Now we are going to show this this Jambudvipa, okay, and I'll quickly explain how this works. Okay, so this is like a flat coin. Now I've taken the top view of this. This is a flat coin. So there are different regions. So for example, if you take the earthly map, the map of this earth, you will see many continents, right? You can see American, African continent, European continent, Asian continent, Australian continent, like that you can see many continents. So you can see all these places are like continents. Okay, they're all clubbed together. Okay. In the center is the Mount Sumeru or the Mount Meru, which is a golden mountain, which projects, 3D projections, very tall it is. On top of it is Brahmaloka, the residence of Lord Brahmaji. Okay. Now, these continents are also very similar to what you see in the continents in the earthly planet today. So in the earthly planet, what continents you see? For example, you go to an African continent, you will see their race and religion are different. Their skin complexion is different. They're more blackish in nature. Okay. So if you come to the Asian continent, you can see their looks, their appearance, everything is different. They're more wheatish in color. Right? So if you go to the American continent and the European continent, you can see that their features are different, but they are more fair, whitish in color. So like that, each of them have different characteristics. Like that, here also they have different characteristics. So for example, the Kim Purusha, now we are in Bharatavarsha. We see we are in the bottom right here, Bharatavarsha. In Bharatavarsha, there is a sub-location called Bharadakanda. That Bharadakanda is the Earth planet that we are part of. Okay. Now, where is now Naradaji? Naradaji is in Bharatavarsha. That he is in Suttaloka. He is deep inside Suttaloka. So he has to come out from Suttaloka to Bhumandala, the surface of Bhumandala on Bharatavarsha. From Bharatavarsha, he has to move laterally to Kimpurusha Varsha. For example, Ilavita Varsha, here the presiding deity is Lord Shiva. That means all the people who live in this continent called Ilavita Varsha, they worship Lord Shiva as the presiding deity. Everyone worship Lord Shiva. So, for example, you can call Modi ji is the Prime Minister of India. That means everyone knows Modi. Like that, here in Ilavata Varsha, Lord Shiva is the presiding deity. Everyone worships Lord Shiva. So, like that, there are, Ketumala Varsha, Badrash Varsha. Then we have Ramyaka Varsha, Hiranyamaya Varsha, Kuru Varsha, Hari Varsha, then Kimpurusha Varsha. So, Kimpurusha Varsha is the where Lord Ramachandra is the presiding deity. And all the living entities there, they only know Lord Ramachandra and keep worshipping him. Okay, so here, where Ram is there, Hanumanji is there. So Prahlad said, Hanuman is the greatest of the devotee. Why? Because he gets the service. Okay, I don't have any service. Lord said, you can be a king and I'm just sitting here. I don't have any service for the Lord. The pastime is over with Hiranyakashipu. Now I don't have any service. But Hanumanji gets the service. He's the greatest devotee. Okay, so from Suttaloka, he comes to Kimpurusha Varsha. Okay. And what does Prahlad Maharaj said? He says, all my bhakti is having a lot of jnana in it. Why? Because my grandfather, he spoke about Mashana Vairagya. From there onwards, there was logic, right? So the demons, they generally from the family of demons, they have a lot of jnana. They talk about rules and regulations so much, religiosity and things like that, but they really don't practice bhakti. It says, I am from that place, which is always Atman, Brahman, and all sorts of things. So he says that my bhakti is contaminated with all this knowledge that the demons inherit, millenniums after millenniums. Right? So he tells about how he is impure. Lord Vamna comes and stays in Sutaloka, which is true, the pastime of the Bali Maharaj. But he says he's not there all the time. There are only certain time periods that he is there, and then he goes away. But Hanuman is a greater devotee, right? He can see the Lord all the time. And he got that benediction that he'll never become old. He'll always be away from death, right? Hanumanji carries the Lord in the heart of himself all the time. That means you tear the chest of Hanumanji, you'll see Ramchandra and Mother Sita. He carries them in his heart, he carries them in his shoulders. So he is the greatest devotee. So Nada became very joyful. He moved from Sutaloka to Bharadavarsha, Bharadavarsha to Kimpursha. And he says where Lord Hanuman resides. Okay. So now from Hanumanji we are going to Kimpursha glories. Naradaji enters and he sees Hanuman and he glorifies Hanuman. Hey, you are the best of the servants. You are his friend. He says, you are his friend. You are his carrier. You are his seat, asana. You are his flag. You are his umbrella, which is true, right? You can see all these places of Hanuman which are present there. And you are his canopy or his roof. And he, when in the forest, when there's nothing, no chamra, nothing was there, Hanuman just took his tail. The tail end has a lot of, it's bushy in nature. He used his tail and fanned the Lord. Hanuman sings for the Lord. Okay, you know that pastime of Sindur, right? So that is how dedicated Hanuman is. Okay. Now, when Lakshmanaji was unwell, Hanuman went and brought the entire mountain, which has got those herbs. And he says, you're like the doctor. You show mercy, you give medicine. Right? He just goes on expanding Ramchandra glories. And that's the position of Hanuman. Since Narada says, hey, you're the best of all the devotees. So I've come here to see. Okay. Hanuman was pleased to see Narada Muni, but he rejected all his claims. That's the position of Hanuman. Right? In fact, when Hanumanji was in the sky, he was just descending. Hanumanji saw Narada Muni, oh, such a great devotee is coming to my place. I'm so pleased. Hanuman jumped from the surface in order to, embrace Naradaji in the sky. Let's see. What is bad? Okay. We'll explain the things. So, when after all this glorification that Naradaji did on Hanuman, Hanuman said, oh, Naradaji, you don't understand that. I don't get to see Lord Ramchandra all the time. In fact, there is a deity of Lord Ramchandra to which we worship you. And because I'm separated from Lord Ramchandra all the time, and I keep lamenting, if anyone takes up his name, I lament more because the separation from me to Lord Ramchandra is very, very intense. In fact, Hanumanji has a complaint. He has neglected me. Lord Ram has neglected me. How can I be a great recipient of the Lord? Right? So hence, I keep meditating on the Lord who's in my heart all the time, and that's what Hanumanji spends his time in Kimpursha. Okay? Then he says, oh Narada, the best of all the devotees are Pandavas, not myself. You better go reach the Pandavas, and they are the recipient of the mercy. Oh, Naradaji, very happy. He rushed to the place of Pandavas. And he started glorifying the Pandavas. Okay. How Pandavas are really glorious. So there are some examples that we can take it up. Okay. So even though the Pandavas are really the servants of the Lord, but Lord took the portion of servitude to the Pandavas. Right. So he became their advisor. He told them how to do things. He became their messenger. Why? Because when there were 5 villages need to be offered, he became the messenger from Pandavas to Duryodhana and said, just give us 5 villages and go, messenger. He took the position of a charioteer. When Arjuna was fighting the war, he took the position of charioteer. Court attendant. So when was Krishna court attendant? So this is during the Rajasuya. So when Rajasuya happened, so Krishna took the position of, receiving every guest who was coming there. So for example, Duryodhana took the position of treasury. Bhima took the position of kitchen head, kitchen chef. So many one took position, but Krishna took the position of receiving everybody. And how did he receive everybody? He washed the feet. And there used to be a procession, during the final when Rajasuya, that there will be a procession, and Krishna would hold the umbrella for the king. He'll come behind. Okay? So that was the position of Krishna with the Pandavas. Right? So like that, he goes on by glorifying the Pandavas and say they're the greatest of the devotees. You should take their blessings, or you should see them as the greatest mercy. So being very joyful about the whole thing, Naradaji goes to Hastinapur. Okay. So he goes to the Pandavas and then meets them in Hastinapur, and Narada praises Krishna, and then he says, the Pandavas are favored so much because they are the greatest of the devotees. That's how he praises them. Okay, Narada in fact quotes, this is a quote that Krishna said. What did Krishna say? The friend of the Pandavas is my friend and their enemy is my enemy. Krishna said that. So the Pandavas are the light bearers, you can say. So like that, the glories of Pandavas are very high. But what is Yudhishthira do? He said, no, I don't accept this. He denies all the praise that the Pandavas had. Yudhishthira said that we are suffering more because all our kith and kin, the family, everyone, all got perished because of the war. And once the war was over, the Mahabharata was over, Krishna left us and he just went off to Dwaraka. He did not remain here. In fact, the great Kunti pairs, please remain here, Krishna, because in bad times you remained with us, good times you went away. So he quotes that also. He says Krishna doesn't live here. He's always in Dwaraka. He's with the Yadus. So the Yadus are the greater devotees than us. So that's what Yudhishthira quotes. So hearing this, Narada Muni is so pleased. And then he says, okay, let me adjourn to the Yadu community, right? So for example, I'll just try to take this document. Okay, let me share this for you. Okay, so you're able to see this. So now we are in 4th chapter, the Bhakta, the devotees. Okay, in the 4th chapter, we talked about Lord Shiva glorified, and then Narada Muni became eager to see Prahlad. By mystic power of the sage, within a moment, flew to Sutaloka and entered the city of Asaras. Right? So we talked about this past time. So now we are coming to the 5th chapter, which is called Priya. Right? So Priya is in 42, I suppose. Yeah. So now we come to Priya. Now this is the chapter title, and they call the dear devotees. Okay. Tataha Sri Narado Harsha Varakrantaha Sa Nartanam Gurudesham Gato Dhavam Rajadanyam Pravishtavan. What does he say? Dancing and overcome with happiness, Narada flew to Kurudesha very quickly into the capital. That means in the 5th chapter onwards, he's seeing the Pandavas. Right? So that's where we are now. Right? So Narada Muni arrived at the door. Maharaj Yudhishthira was saying to his relatives, let us arrange for either a grand Vedic sacrifice or else a terrible calamity that will force Lord Krishna to come here. Then we will be able to see him. So that means, here, when Yudhishthira says that, Krishna is not actually there. Seeing Narada at the door, Maharaj Yudhishthira, accompanied by his brothers, mothers, and wives, at once stood up, hastily ran to him and greeted him, bowed down before him, and brought him to the palace. Carefully seated him on a grand throne, and brought various articles to worship him. O Mother Narada, then took the articles of worship and began himself to worship your father-in-law and their servants. Right? So, like that, this is the pastime that's going on. That's what we are discussing. So now we are in the 5th chapter called prayer. So let's go to the presentation. Yeah. So any questions so far? So now, what did he conclude? So what did the Pandavas conclude? No, the Yadus are the greatest recipients of mercy. Please go to Yadus. Where are the Yadus? Yadus are in Dwarka. So Narada Muni went to Dwarka to see the Yadus. He began to praise the Yadus. And he said, your abode is better than Vaikuntha. That's how he praised the Yadus. But Yadus said, no, Lord Krishna sometimes leaves us also. He's always with Uddhava. He's never present before us in the assembly. That's what the Yadus have claimed about Krishna. So the Yadus have claimed that among us, Uddhava is the greatest, right? And you can see that Uddhava is always with Krishna. He is the best representation of love and fraternity. Fraternity is Sakha, right? And he says he is the best among all the devotees, right? So they glorify Uddhava, and then Narada Muni is trying to meet Uddhava. Yadu said, Uddhava is the best devotee. Uddhava is such a great devotee that Lord sends him out on his missions. See, there are many missions that Lord has, right? Some missions are, administrative in nature. Some missions are very loving, personal in nature, right? See, what happens once the Samba, Samba, who's son of Krishna, once he fell in love with this lady called Lakshmana. Lakshmana is daughter of Duryodhana. Okay. So when there was Swayamvar that was happening for Lakshmana at Hastinapur, this Samba, what he did, he took his chariot and then he went inside and then kidnapped Lakshmana and then came. But the Kauravas have many Maharathis, like Bhishma Dev, Karna, Kripacharya, Dronacharya. Like that, there are many great warriors there. So what happened? They all got together and said, okay, let's teach him a lesson. They came and they attacked, and Samba fought very valiantly, but he cannot fight so many Maharathis. He's not like Arjuna. So Samba got defeated, and then they put Samba into the jail, into a very dark dungeon. They put him to it. So the news comes. The news comes to Dwaraka, and then Krishna is very disturbed, saying that, no, we need to solve this problem. So Balram said, I will solve this problem. Balram, what does he do? He talks to Uddhava and tells Uddhava, you please go to Hastinapur and do the mediation with them. And that way you can get Samba released. So Uddhava went to do the mediation. The Kauravas did not agree, saying that, no, we don't agree to all such proposals. He's put into jail and he'll suffer for it. Balram getting very angry, what does he do? He takes his plow and puts it on the ground and he's dragging the entire Hastinapur into the ocean. So seeing that there's a terrible shake in the entire city of Hastinapur because it's getting dragged. The whole city is getting dragged like a toy into the ocean. So they offer prayers. They all come and fall at the feet of Balramji and they'll say, hey, oh, please don't do this. We will listen to whatever you say and then we'll give you. So that way, Samba gets released. But the point here is, any confidential work, Krishna sends Uddhava. For example, to teach Bhagavatam, Krishna sends Uddhava to Badrikashram. Krishna sent Uddhava to give love letters to the gopis, right? Important confidential letters. He chooses Uddhava. So like that, Uddhava is a great devotee. So hence the Yadus glorify Uddhava as the one who is very, very close to Krishna. Uddhava serves the Lord. He takes his Mahaprasad. He massages his feet. And Uddhava resembles just like Krishna. Right? So when Uddhava went to give the letter to Vrindavan, to the gopis, when they saw Uddhava, they saw, oh, Krishna's back. And they were all rejoicing, oh, Krishna's back, Krishna's back. But they realized then it was Uddhava then who was carrying the message of Krishna. So like that, the position of Uddhava is in. So the Yadus glorify Uddhava. Okay. So now you see, now we're getting to the chapter 6, which is called Priyatama. So in the last chapter, it was called Priya. Now it's called Priyatama. Okay. So are you all comfortable so far? Any doubts before I further progress?
Fine, Prabhu.
Yes,
Fine, Prabhu.
Fine, Prabhu.
Yes.
Fine.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Ah,
Nice summarization. Prabhu, I thought Prahlad Maharaj was in Narasimhadev's Loka in the Vaikuntha planets, Prabhu. Today only I came to know that he is in Sutala.
he's in Sutaloka, no?
Bali
After
Maharaj.
completing this thing only, he'll go back. So he's in Sutaloka.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. So Bali Maharaj also in Sutala along with.
Yeah, Bali
Prahlad.
Maharaj will become the next Indra
Hmm.
because he desired to conquer Indraloka, right?
Yes,
So
Prabhu.
when Manvantara changes, the 14 Manvantara time period changes in the day of Brahma, once that changes, now currently we are in Vaivasvata Manu, and we are in the 7th Manu. That means 7 more Manus are there. After that, the current Indra will go down. And the next Indra will become Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj will become the next Indra. And after ruling for 1 Manvantara, Bali Maharaj, he will also go back to Lord. So like that, you see, there is time period for all these things to get complete and then go back.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Yes, Prabhu.
So now we are in chapter 6, which is called Priyatama. That means dearmost. Priya is dear, but dearmost. Okay. So Naradaji goes to see Uddhava in his own house of Dwarka, but actually Uddhava was with Krishna. Uddhava was back in the rooms of Krishna's palace, in the inner rooms. There were, Balram was also there, Padmavati was there, and there was Krishna's mother, Kamsa's mother was also there. They were all waiting for Krishna to wake up in the morning. So Krishna was sleeping. So they were all waiting around Krishna's bedroom in a circle. Huh?
Who's Padmavati?
Padmavati is one of the queens.
Panna.
Yeah. Krishna has many queens, so one of the queens. Okay. So Uddhava is, so Krishna is about to wake up. He's not yet woken up, but they're all waiting for Krishna to wake up. Okay. So Krishna at that point in time, when Naradaji comes to Uddhava, Uddhava is thinking that I am not the greatest devotee. The gopis are the greatest of the devotees. Right? And that is what he's constantly meditating. Because when he went to give the letter, he realized the devotion of the gopis were much superior than his. So hence Uddhava prayed that, let me be born as the dust of Vrindavan, or the grass of Vrindavan, so that everyone can stamp on me. All the gopis, and their mercy will come to me. Like Uddhava is thinking. Let's go to the next level. Just a second. You had asked a question over there in chat. What is bard? Bard means one who can compose songs just like that and use an appropriate instrument to sing the song with that instrument. See, not all songs can be, for example, let's take Veena. All songs cannot be sung by Veena or, blended with Veena as an instrument, right? So, for example, if you're singing a faster song, then you may need to go for a different instrument. If you're singing a colloquial, local classic, then Veena may be suitable. Okay. So like that, A bard is a person who can compose a song and choose the right instrument to connect with it to play it. So they generally associate this with Hanuman, because Hanuman, even though he is like a monkey body, he is very skillful in singing. He somehow gets the benediction from Naradaji to sing. So that's why that link for Hanumanji. Okay, so now Krishna is sleeping and Krishna is about to wake up. Okay, when he's about to wake up, Rukmani Mataji is speaking. Okay, Rukmani says, even though Krishna is sleeping, but he is always sleeping with dreams. And what is he dreaming? He is dreaming about Vrindavan. He is dreaming about the people, the Vrajavasis of Vrindavan, the devotees of Vrindavan. Nothing else is there in his consciousness. That's how he sleeps. So that means Krishna's every breath, that means breath means breathing cycle. Leave out, taken. Every breath, he is thinking of Vrindavan. He's talking about the devotees of Vrindavan. Right? So that's an important point. Okay, so now let's see why. Finally, Krishna got up and then he was very, very morose because he was dreaming about Vrindavan. Then Krishna asked, what should we do for the people of Vrindavan? He woke up and he asked that question. He didn't say, you're all here, how are you doing? No, he woke up and said, what do we do for the people of Vrindavan? So that means he has his attention and is gravitating towards Vrindavan all the time. But nobody talked anything about Vrindavan around there. Why? Because if they make any supportive statements to Vrindavan, then Krishna will go up to Vrindavan. And all the Dwarkavasis, they will get separated from Krishna. Hence, they didn't want that. So hence, they didn't speak. But instead, what they did, they gave different suggestions. They wanted to do this, wanted to do that. You send a letter, send some fruit basket, cakes, whatever it may be. Something like that. They were all giving different suggestions, which are nothing was clear at all. Because they're somehow trying to divert Krishna's attention from Vrindavan so that he can stay as in Dwarka. Okay? But Uddhava is very clear. He says, no, all these things he does not want. Krishna wants Vrindavan, and the Vrajavasis, the devotees of Vrindavan, want Krishna. And that's what it is. They don't want anything else. And that's what Uddhava concludes. Okay? Uddhava says, unless the two lotus feet make a blessed journey to Vraj, there is no way to assure the people of Vraj they will survive. So that means unless Krishna visits Vraj, you cannot save the people of Vraj. They will die. They will die very painfully. So the devotees of Vrindavan, they just want your lotus feet, Krishna, nothing else. But Balaram clarifies. He says, yeah, they will die, but they will not die out of starvation. They will die out of separation. Because the love of separation is so intense that they don't know what they're happening to them. And being in that state, slowly they will leave their bodies and then they'll die. So, love of separation is the supreme. That's the conclusion that Balramji brings. And that's what the Gopis' bhava is into. Okay, now let's see. Now, once he concludes this, so we talked about Priya, we talked about Priyatama, then we're talking about Purna. Purna is the last chapter of the part 1. Now, Krishna's woken up. Now there is this consciousness of Vrindavan. And Krishna is not seeing anyone else in Dwarka. He is only just thinking of Vrindavan. So, all the people, the Dwarkavasis, the queens, the principal queens, the close associates, the cows, the calves, everyone started to lament. Oh, Krishna will go away now. He'll go off to Vrindavan because he got that idea. So now seeing this, Brahma could not tolerate. He says, if everyone in the city or kingdom, they start to cry, it leads to inauspiciousness. No, we need to stop this. So what he did, he called immediately, he dialed Vishwakarma. Okay, he said, Vishwakarma, please come. And he told Vishwakarma that next to Dwaraka, you make Nava Vrindavan, a new Vrindavan. Okay? The Nava Vrindavan should just look like same Vrindavan, the same trees, the same landscape, like Govardhan, the rivers, oceans, everything should flow like that. And how there were cows grazing, and then same thing should be. Then Vishwakarma is asking, what about Yashoda and Nanda? What about all those parental Matajis and Prabhujis there? Then he says, no, you make statues of them. You make statues of Nanda and Yashoda. Huh? And you place them in everywhere, and then Krishna, it look like as if real, and Krishna will think it's real. Okay? Then what did Brahmaji? Brahmaji asked Garuda to take Krishna, Balaram, and Rohini Mata to Nava Vrindavan. Right? So that's the next move that happens. Okay, now let's see what happens next. Purna is perfection. Seeing inauspicious omens, Brahma appears with Devatas and Vedas. Brahma tells Garuda to take Krishna and Balaram with Rohini to Nava Vrindavan, created by Vishwakarma near Dwarka. And what did Balaramji do? He decorated Krishna with flute. And he gave that Vaijayanti Mala, the garland made out of the 5 forest flowers. Putting all these things, he woke up Krishna very nicely. Now Krishna is in Nava Vrindavan. He's got this garland. He's got the flute. Now he's like a cowherd boy. Now once he sees the same mood of Vrindavan, Krishna will be pleased. Right? So that's the whole idea that they're doing it. Okay. Krishna, of course, is kind of in the fainting. Now he is half faint because that's why he's not in his external consciousness. He is an internal consciousness. That's why he got up and he could not see anyone. He's thinking and then commenting, what should I do for the people of Raj? Okay. So because he's in half fainting state, when he saw the statues, he could not realize that they were really statues. So he saw Nanda and Yashoda and he talked to Nanda Baba. Oh, Mother Yashoda. So like that he started to talk. But they're statues, they can answer. And then he could not even notice it because he's in a half awakened state or is in a confused state. Right? So then what did he do? He saw the cows and then he saw the, cows going to the water. He thought they were Yamuna. But later on he saw the huge waves in those water. Then he was confused. How can there be waves in Yamuna? There's no waves in Yamuna. Right? So then he saw the city of Dwarka at a distance. Then he said, this is not Vrindavan. I'm getting confused. So he is now coming to his external consciousness. So Balaram is now actually explaining, right, that we made this place so that, because, he made this place so that, you can remain in Dwarka. Okay? Whenever you get the mood of Vrindavan, you can go to Nava Vrindavan, experience it, and then you can come and stay in Dwarka. Because your presence in Dwarka is very important. He sarcastically makes a comment. Many demons will come here also, so you have to kill them, so you better be here. But what's the truth? The truth is Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. Krishna always lives in Vrindavan. Krishna's karmic mood is what expands into Vishnu, and that's what comes to Dwarka because that's Aishwarya Bhav. Vrindavan is in Madhurya Bhav. Right? So that's the truth. Okay. So now what does Krishna say? So Krishna says that I don't want to go to Vrindavan. Now after Balaram explains all these things, Krishna says I don't want to go to Vrindavan. So then everyone is puzzled. Why? Krishna says I don't want to go to Vrindavan, even though he's meditating on Vrindavan all the time. So Krishna makes a very important point, saying that moment I reach Vrindavan, yes, there will be jubilation. All the bhaktas, the devotees, Rajavasis, gopis will be very happy. But that will be only for a moment of happiness. Immediately after that, they will start to lament. Why they will start to lament? Because they will think, oh, now that Krishna has come, when is he going to go away? Will he go away in 2 hours? Will he go in 1 week? Will he go in 1 month? That means they'll start to do the countdown. Oh, he'll go away now. He'll go away now. He'll go away. So that going away will be more disturbing for them then they are in love with me in separation. Okay, so that's a bigger pain for me, right? So hence I will not go to Vrindavan. Okay, so this is what Krishna explains. And in fact, you can see that in the Raslila also. See, when Krishna disappeared for the short period of time, okay, all the gopis, they became very mad. Said, where is my Lord? Where is my Prananatha? Right? And they don't know what to do because they searched for Krishna, they couldn't find. And then they started to behave as if Krishna was present. What would Krishna do? What would I would do? They enacted pastimes. I mean, they did all sorts of things, right? So you say, that Raslila pastime can tell that how it increased the lamentation so much. So he gives this as an example and then say, I better not go. Okay, so that's why Krishna did not go back to Vrindavan. He remained in Dwarka. Okay, but however, if you go to Govardhan Hill and then you read through the pastimes of Govardhan Hill, so there is a place called Govardhan Hill. There's a place called Giridhari. Something is there. Okay. So there, Krishna tells that you call all the gopis here and then I'll give the darshan. Right? So when the gopis went there, Krishna showed the darshan of lifting the Govardhan. He personally came and showed the darshan of Govardhan Hill to the gopis. So that way they were satisfied. So like that, there is one place also is there, the pastime also association is there. It's there on Govardhan. Okay. So now Krishna is trying to explain. There's a more deeper philosophy here. I'll just read this for you. If they see patches of darkness resembling my complexion, that means in the dark night, right? See, in the dark night, their only light is the moonlight. When the moonlight comes, there are a lot of trees and creepers. And when it passes through the creepers, some of the creepers will produce shadows. So those are called dark patches. And Krishna is what? This is also Shyamasundara, right? Is darkish in complexion. What they did, when they saw a tree which was darkish in complexion, like the tamal tree, they immediately hugged the tree and started to kiss everywhere. Because that is Krishna. Okay, see, this is, what else I can say about their craziness, their love for me. So, knowing all these things, so Krishna says that it's better that I don't go there or return there. Like that Krishna explains to in his commentary why he does not want to go to Buddha. But he wants to do something for the gopis. Now finally what Lord said. Lord said, this is the position of the gopis. But you are the one who have, he's saying Naradaji. Krishna is telling Narada that you're the one who made me to remember the gopis. So if anyone makes me to remember the gopis, it puts me into that state of deep separation and extreme love. And he says, Narada, you're the best of the devotees because you made me to remember Vraj. So, if we are able to make Krishna remember the Vraj and the Vraj pastimes, that Krishna considers that person as the greatest. And hence, here in this context, Narada becomes the greatest. So for us, what does that mean? So if you go sing the Gopi Geet, Tava Katamritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibiriditam Kalmashapakam Shravana Mangalam Srimadatum Bhuvi Grinanti Te Bhuridajana. So if you sing this song in front of the Lord, you're making the Lord remember Vraj. And he gets so pleased. That means singing Gopi Geet whenever possible. When the devotees do singing of Gopi Geet whenever possible, it puts the devotees into, it puts the Lord into great. See, it's very unfortunate. Rather than listening, you're talking to someone else. Okay. So, singing Gopi Geet puts the Lord into trance. It makes the Lord to remember the gopis of Vrindavan, the gopis of the Vraj. So that's why you see devotees are very intelligent. They sing a lot of these Vaishnava bhajans. They sing Gopi Geet in order to attract the mercy of the Lord. Of course, the Lord showers the mercy. There's no doubt about it. Because the Lord considers one who makes him remember Vraj as the best of all the devotees. Why? Because the gopis are the topmost of all the devotees. So that's the greatest carry forward that we take out of this. Okay. So here he said, Narada, my dearest friend, you're always eager to please me, and you're the best of those who relish transcendental emotions. You have not done me a great favor by making me to remember Vraj. Okay. So now let's look at transformation of this sorrow. What is the transformation of this sorrow? So the people of Vraj, they're in extreme sorrow after Krishna left Vrindavan. So you see, what is explained here is the gopis are always in great lamentation. What lamentation? Oh, Krishna has left me and gone. Where do I find my prananatha? So that love and separation is considered to be the greatest, the strongest, and nothing can replace it. Okay. So here I'll just read this for you. This lamentation is like a great fire. The greatest love turns into greatest sorrow. Remember this. From deep love comes great lamentation. And this great lamentation came because there was a love of separation that everyone experienced. So this great lamentation that Krishna is not here, not here. After searching, I'm not able to find Krishna. All the gopis, they go into the mode of sorrow, unhappiness. Okay, that's why Balaram also said, they will die out of separation. Okay, that's the sorrow. But Krishna says, all these things are completely transcendental. It is the art of Yogamaya. Then he says that this sorrow, which manifested out of extreme lamentation, is actually the greatest bliss that they enjoy. So what does that mean? Which means that love and separation is far more superior than love and togetherness. So hence Krishna gives that as the greatest benediction to the gopis. Okay. And that's not even meeting Krishna. Even in sorrow, they are not meeting Krishna. That sorrow turns into greatest bliss. So I'll read this here. When one is parted from those one loves, pure love makes one suffer within, as if from a blazing forest fire. The burning pain creates a remorse that further deepens into irrepressible sorrow. Irrepressible means it cannot be suppressed. Thus, one at first seems wretched. Wretched means he's harming himself or doing something crazy here. So that's the position of the gopis. So hence Krishna says that I live in Vrindavan all the time. That is the transcendental aspect that we cannot see. So Vrindavan is Krishna's eternal place of life. What do you see Krishna comes to Hastinapur? What do you see Krishna comes to Dwaraka is an internal expansion of the Lord based on just the mood separation that happens. And that is what comes to Hastinapur, and that's what is in Dwaraka. So that's the greatest understanding out of this. Okay. So what we have concluded, the lamentation which causes sorrow, which is due to separation, is considered to be the topmost of prema. So now in the material world, we also have lamentation, but our lamentation is materialistic. We want this, we want that, we want this. But in this material world, we can also develop love and lamentation for separation of Krishna. That's considered to be pure love. And when can that manifest? when one started to experience Raga Bhakti, because you cannot force it, it has to come naturally. Right? So, for example, in Samsara Dava, in Guru Ashtakam, what do we sing? Nikunjayu no ratikeli siddhai, yayalli biryu tirabekshaniya. So, what we sing? We are saying that Krishna, I am offering you all the services through the causeless mercy of the gopis. There are billions of gopis. Out of the billions of gopis, there are 108 principal gopis. Out of 108 principal gopis, there are 8 important gopis from the leftist and the rightist. And out of these 8 gopis, there are, confidential gopis, the Lalita and Vishaka. Out of the confidential gopis, the topmost gopis from Mithra. So, this tells that our services is into the bhava, the path of all the gopis, all the way to Srimati Radharani. And she, by her causeless mercy, offers our love to Krishna. When the person like Srimati Radharani is offering our love to Krishna, it attains the most purified state. It cannot be more purer than anything else. Hence it's considered to be topmost. So Narada Muni then finally became very happy because his search for who gets the most mercy was finally resolved. And that is the gopis of Vrindavan. So Krishna is most attached to people of Vrindavan, and among them the gopis are the most attachment. And that's what he concludes. He's very happy. He took his veena, started shouting, Jai, 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 victory, victory, victory. He praised the Lord Krishna for giving all the benedictions. With songs filled with names arising from his pastimes in Vraj. So Vraj pastimes related songs. You start to sing like anything. Vrindavana Ramyasthana. That's a song like that. Right? So he got his answer, he got the truth. He did this exercise so that the entire people of this creation, they should know who's topmost. And by taking shelter or serving them directly or indirectly, one may also get elevated to the topmost. That is the major message he gives here. Okay. So let us see an important aspect of the various devotees we saw, right from the Brahmana all the way till Uddhava, then the gopis. So does the mercy really vary among them? So we'll see that here. We will write in some explanation. Therefore, the little explanation about these different devotees that Narada Muni saw, like he went to the Brahmana, then he saw Indra, then he saw Brahma, he saw Shiva, he saw Prahlad, Hanuman, all types of devotees. What is the one echoing message from all of them? We are not perfect. We don't deserve. The other devotee is better. That's what everyone concluded. So this should be a mood that we should imbibe in us. Should say, the other devotee is the best. I am not, even though one may be in a higher state. So that means, what is humility's definition? Humility's definition is one voluntarily accepting a lower position, though he is not, is considered humility. Okay. So now, I'll come to the next bullet, very important. It looks like inequality is there in the mercy. That means we may say the gopis are getting greater mercy compared to the ant who's getting lower mercy. We see there's an inequality. Otherwise, we are concluding that otherwise ant also will become gopi. Right? Because there is mercy variations. So now what does Krishna say? Krishna says, no. All of them are perfect. Who is in the platform of devotion? Devotee may say, no, I'm not perfect, Krishna, I don't deserve. But that is a state of humility. But that is a state of love that he has. So that he can improve. So for example, if you take a glass of water, and if the glass of water is full, that means there is no chance of pouring any more water. So realized souls, they never say, I am fully satisfied and happy and I am in prema or bhava or whatever it may be. They say, no, we are nothing, we are zero. So that more mercy can flow into my life. Like half a filled cup of water, more water can be poured. And that's the mode of the devotees. Okay. So now, a very important point that the Acharya is making. Acharya is making that every jiva is different. And each jiva has its own, variegatedness. And he's also got different grades of consciousness. Okay? Because he's got different grades of consciousness, the mercy looks like as if it is different. So, for example, each one of us can think how much mercy we got. We didn't get the mercy of the gopis, but our consciousness is not there like the gopis. You get the point here? We may think that I am in the table of hierarchy of devotees, I am the lowest devotee. I have got the lowest mercy. But the gopis got the highest mercy. But why they got the highest mercy while you got the lowest mercy is because your state of consciousness is not as equal as the gopis. That's the point here. That means if I change my consciousness like Brahma, like Prahlad, like Pandavas, like the gopis, then Krishna's mercy, according to our consciousness, will also be same. That's the point here. And hence you see that a devotee who's singing, Harinam Kirtan in a particular time zone, or a devotee who's making garland, or a devotee who's making dress to the deities, or a devotee who's preparing cake, they are satisfied at their level of consciousness and their service. And hence Krishna says every devotee is in their perfect state of consciousness. So then what is bhakti? Bhakti refers to the point that how I'm going to evolve. Am I going to live in the bhakti state of a lowest devotee like a Brahmana? Or I'm going to increase my bhakti like Hanuman? Or I'm going to increase my bhakti like Prahlad? What is that I'm going to do? And that is your devotional practice. And hence you see, Prabhupada gave this greatest treasure to us that by practice of sadhana bhakti through rules and regulations, you slowly understand that, oh, what is it that I need to do to reach the state of Nishtha? I'm still in Shraddha. I'm still in the faith complexities. When do I go reach the state of Nishtha? That means I have to cross these. I have to do that. And that's what Prabhupada has designed as sadhana bhakti or Vaidhiya bhakti. So if our Vaidhiya bhakti is practiced very nicely, with the goal very firmly attached in our consciousness, yes, I need to do that. To get that, then what happens? Slowly, the consciousness which is materialistic in nature transforms to spiritual in nature. And that transformation is the goal of progress in bhakti state, where we go from the current devotee all the way up to the gopis. That is what is the greatest message here. Okay, so let's read this. Benediction of knowledge of mercy. My labors have borne fruit, for now I understand in practical way who is the object of your greatest mercy. I have directly realized now that the gopis are the greatest recipient of your mercy. Who says this? Narada says. Right? So it's like this. A person who knows to manage a great amount of treasury and wealth, if he is given 1,000 crores of wealth, he can manage. But a beggar who sees that 1,000 rupees is the largest money that he can imagine, if you give him 1,000,000 rupees, he'll go mad, he can't manage. So similarly, mercy is like that. The mercy flows from top to bottom according to one's evolution of consciousness. If the consciousness to connect to the Lord is greater, the mercy also expands. That's the message that Naradaji is trying to get to most of us. Yeah. After getting this, Narada says, okay, Lord, this is too much. This is amazing. I never realized this. So I want to spread your glories. Every nook and corner, I want to spread your glories. Because I want to help even the smallest ant to become Krishna consciousness. So help spread everywhere. So what he did, he asked for the benediction. Help me to wander every location here and there without any rules and regulations. That's what he says. I wish that I may wander everywhere, always chanting, drinking the nectar of your names. Those most sweet names arise from the ocean of Gokula and spread the glories of your infinitely varied drusts and ways of acting. As I wander, behaving like a madman, Let me distribute the joy to all the worlds. That's what he concludes here. That's the benediction he asks. Okay, so now we'll come to the last part of it. So the story ends. Narada concludes. So the sages at Prayagraj, Varanasi, Prayagraj, this Allahabad. They heard this wonderful pastime from the mouth of Naradaji. Whatever interest they had, little bit interest, which is called Mishra Bhakti, Jnana Mishra Bhakti they had. Which is, what is Mishra Bhakti? Interest other than serving Krishna. They said, we'll just leave away all of them. And they focus on the essence of what the value of the service is. Entering a mood of great and single-minded humility, they began worshipping the lotus feet of Madana Gopala according to Narada's instruction. So now you see how Narada was able to transform. The same thing Narada did with the Prachetas. The same thing Narada did with the Durva. The same thing Narada did with Chitraketu. Everyone, that's what Narada does. He removes the Mishra, the difficulty in our consciousness, and then gets them into pure consciousness. So that's why you have to hear the instructions of a great devotee. Now, what is Srimad Bhagavatam? Srimad Bhagavatam is an instruction from Lord to Brahma, Brahma to Narada, Narada to Vedavyasa, Vedavyasa to his disciples, to the whole world today. So that means reciting Srimad Bhagavatam is straight away from the mouth of the Lord and through the purificatory process of these great devotees. Hence, read Srimad Bhagavatam every day. Get love of God at any cost. So we'll come to this last sloka, last page of the day. So what does this say? So this is a conversation that was explained. What is this conversation? First is between Jaimini Rishi to Janmejaya. In that, he's explaining the conversation between Parikshit Maharaj and Uttara. Okay, now let's see what happens. Therefore, the conversation between Parikshit and Mother Uttara had requested to talk more about Krishna after Mahabharata. So after hearing Mahabharata, she developed so much love for Krishna and said, let's talk more and more. And that's how she understood who gets the most amount of mercy. And after this, Parikshit said, Mother, please worship Krishna. And what you should be desiring? I want to be a servant of the gopis. Do kirtan, do bhajan. Worship the gopis. And by their causeless mercy, you will attain what is called as the highest realm of bhakti to Krishna. This is the most important mood that one should develop. And that's the essence of the part one, which is called the essence of mercy. Who gets the most mercy? So we don't get mercy just like doing nothing. We get mercy by doing the right things. So while you practice sadhana bhakti, ensure that you don't commit any offenses. You should not go up, you should not come down. Even if you don't get anything, but don't commit offenses. That way you will make steady state progress in your devotionals. Okay. So I will end here. And in the next class, what we will do is we will take up part 2 now. Part 2 is a Gopakumara pastime. That is the reality of one person. How is he going to start his life, and how is he going to practice bhakti? What all events happen in his life? How he gets various situations and events. That's what we're going to see now. And then how is he going to reach Golok? So we're going to see life of a devotee through an example of a Gopakumara. Okay, it's very interesting to see actually what happens in one's life. So that's what is explained beautifully. And this part 2 manifested because Uttara heard Mahabharata and developed love for Krishna. Now she's disturbing Parikshit. Tell me more about Krishna. Tell me more. Right? How do we practically do this? That's how part 2 manifest. Okay. So we will end here and we'll see if there's any questions that you all have. We can take it on. Grandharaj Bruhad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol. Prabhu,
Hari Bol Prabhu.
new
Yeah.
no, Prabhu. Near Dwarka, it is there. Is it still there or it is immersed in the sea?
I don't know, Mataji. I think it is part of the immersion in the sea. That's what I understand.
Is that the reason Prabhupada has named that place as New Vrindavan in America, Prabhu?
That I don't know. But New Vrindavan means it is Nava Vrindavan. Nava Vrindavan means replica of Vrindavan. Okay. So now Prabhupada wanted to create New Vrindavan in America so that people in America can also experience the same mode of Vrindavan, the same experience of Vrindavan in USA. That was his causeless mercy, right? So like the Nava Vrindavan now is there in GEV also, Govardhan Eco Village. So they've also done that like that. So it is basically giving the mode of Vrindavan everywhere. Because not everyone can go to be in Vrindavan, right? So they're throughout the world spread. So still they can experience. That's the idea of the acharyas.
Nice, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. So Bruhad Bhagavatham is really nectarian, right?
Yes, Prabhu. Still.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes,
Very nice.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
There,
Yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Prabhu, the conclusion, what I understood is one should have the mood of gopis so that, we continue to be into the mercy of the Lord. So, but what about this servant of the servant of the servant of the last order? Who is most loved by the Lord? So, how to understand this?
Your question itself has the answer, no?
Yes.
So mode of the gopis means how can I serve the gopis? You don't try to serve Radharani straight away. You serve the servants and servants of Radharani. And that's the faith you will have. Because your service will still reach Krishna. Right? That's the mood of the gopis. Everyone is thinking how to serve Krishna rather than competing where will I serve with Krishna. That's the point here. Okay? So we shall also cultivate ourselves to reach that state, step by step. Okay, Prabhu?
You mean to say the mood as well as the servitude, attitude are one and the same?
Unless you have that mood, you will not get the servant of attitude. You will say that, I want to serve Krishna directly. There is servitude attitude, but the mood is wrong. They are interconnected, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Rajashri Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Namaskar.
Thank you so much for these sessions. I'm really relishing the nectar. Prabhuji, one thing that I wanted to ask is whomever has come in contact with Narad Muni has been liberated.
Yeah.
So how can we associate with Narad Muni?
You associate Narada Muni to his Narada instruction. Narada has written many books, right? For example, Narada Pancharatrika Vidhis. Right?
Bhakti Sutra also.
Bhakti Sutras. You read them. Once you read them, you're associating with the author. Mataji, any book for that matter. Even if you take, for example, a thriller novel, if you read that novel very deeply, you are getting associated with the consciousness of the author. That's the true fact. So by reading the books written by Naradaji and reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam also came from Narada Muni also, right? So you are associating with Naradaji. You will get that consciousness and you will get liberated. There's no doubt about it. Right? In fact, what we can do is we can be a little bit advanced. Okay. Once what we can do is, if we all can meet personally, we can take different chapters from Bhagavatam where Narada Muni's presence, related slokas and context can be taken out. Right? So, for example, now let's say in chapter Canto 1, you see, there are at least many situations where Narada Muni comes. Then like that we can take chapter 2, Canto 2, then we can take Canto 3. Like that we can see where all Narada Muni comes. We can make a collection of all those chapters, make a hierarchical tabular column list, read the sloka, read what is it, read the mood of Naradaji, and then see what does he want. Then practice. That also can be done. I mean, I'm talking about improvisation. Right? So we can do that also. that's the glory of the whole thing.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any other questions, thoughts? So all good? Okay, so today we are celebrating Rath Yatra. So please come, pull the Rath with love. Pull the Rath. When you pull the Rath, it is not that you have to overtake others or push others. No. Pull the Rath with love. You will get your turn. Wait. First. Mahaprabhu always teaches us the greatest success in devotion service is to wait, to get your turn. That's why patience in devotion service is very, very important. Okay, first thing. Second thing, whenever you pull the Rath, remember Krishna, Jagannath, who's there on the Rath, he's going to see you. What is the meaning of seeing you? Seeing you means does not seeing your body. He's seeing your consciousness. What is running in your mind as a consciousness? He awards benediction. Jagannath is Lord Krishna in the mode of Radharani. Right? Because of Radharani's separation, the stories that he heard of Raj, Krishna became Jagannath. So he's in that bhava only. So mercy of Jagannath is unlimited. Take his mercy. You don't need to do the great things like what Hanuman did, great a mountain, move a mountain. No. Simple things that can mend and attract his mercy. That's what's important. So do those. Right? So every festival, prepare your consciousness before you attend the festival. Right? Love the festival. Enjoy the festival. Go back home nourished. That's most important. Okay, so I wish you all great success in today's Rath Yatra, and let's see how much we can serve each other. Okay. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyavacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Vaishnava Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Mitrai Gaur Premanande.
Hari Hari.
So next week we'll be starting the part 2 of Bruhad Bhagavatham. Part 2 is a little bit longer. It may take 2 classes or 3 classes, but we'll try to finish them. Okay? Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Dandavat.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Prabhu, for the lecture class. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranams.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you. Dandavat pranam.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.